Hello, welcome to this presentation on the Toastmasters International format of debate. In this presentation, I would like to cover the most important aspects found in the Toastmasters International recommended method of debating. Of course, in another presentation of this series, I will try to explain more about the Lincoln-Douglas format of debating. So I hope that you all benefit from this presentation and you find it quite interesting. Let me just go ahead and start the presentation by sharing my screen. The art of debating using Toastmasters International method is one of many educational modules that we learn and we try to apply and understand in our Toastmasters meetings. And the most important aspect of this is that we encourage our speakers and our presenters to really explore all the aspects of debating and try to understand what are the different methods they can apply in their application and understanding of the art of debating. In this presentation, I'd like to cover the following points: some definitions. Of course, there are terms and nomenclature that are linked to the art of debating. After that, I'll explain two famous formats of debating, and I focus on the format used by Toastmasters International, the basic flow of that debate, and few notes on the structure of the Toastmasters International debate format. If we go to the definitions, you will see that debating is explained as a formal, structured, and controlled form of argumentation. We in life come across a lot of instances of argumentation. Some of them are formal, some of them are informal, some of them are personal, some of them are professionals. But as long as they're not structured and controlled, there's no time allocation, there's no point of stance, there is no resolution. It will remain to be an argumentation between people. That's why it's an important, there's a cornerstone of the debate format known as the resolution. There's no debate without a proper resolution. And the resolution is an agreed upon statement with two teams arguing for or against this resolution. That's why the selection of the resolution can also be very important because it will determine how biased or unbiased the argumentation can be. The first team which argues for the proposition is called the affirmative side, and that team argues for suggesting a change or a change in the status quo of the arguments. And the negative team or the opposing team always defends the current resolution and tries to gun down any ideas of proposing a change or a new plan to make things different. The moderator is the assigned team member or club member who handles and facilitates the back and forth argumentation between the two teams. The selection of moderator has to be very important because the person has to be unbiased and objective when it comes to controlling and exchanging the thoughts between the two debate teams. The three elements of a debate is, of course, as we said, a resolution, which is a statement that both teams have to argue for or against. The second element is the terms of the debate, basically the format that we are using, which style of debate are we going to use, whether it was Toastmasters International, Lincoln-Douglas, Oxford style, policy debate, parliamentarian debate, all of these formats which have a certain set of rules governing the debate and how the debate is determined and evaluated. Last but not least, judging. The judges will actually evaluate the constructive speeches and the cross-examination, as well as the resolution, argumentation style, and the summation by both teams. Typically, in a Toastmasters meeting, we assign 3 judges or even a single judge to determine the winning team and the best debaters of each team. So what is actually debated? When we talk about debate, what is actually debated? Do we debate facts? Do we debate values or do we debate policies? Well, it's easily said that facts can sometimes be very hard to be debated. You can't, for example, debate the fact that the sun always rises from the east. This debate cannot be debated because it's very hard to refute and rebut facts and well-established facts. So usually we try to avoid well-established facts and well-known facts. What about values? Values it's a good area of debating, but we need to be careful because it's easily uh, can the values can be easily attacked, and people can be offended when their values, when their personal values are attacked. In debating, we have this term called argumentum ad hominem, which is personal attack. We don't want to attack people's personal values and belief system. That's why it's really, we need to be really careful when you try to debate values. The best thing to debate are policies. Policies are rules and regulations and changes in the way people behave. By imposing a man-made change in rules, change in suggested way of going about a method or a law or a set of rules. Policies are very easy to refute or rebut because they're man-made, so they are inherently not perfect. And we'll always have very famous policies like, for example, banning smoking in public places, imposing driving age below 18, and many, many other examples of policies that are given by individuals or governments or authorities, and we can go for or against these policies. The actual verbiage of a debate resolution, the best format for that is, it is resolved that should. Like, for example, it is resolved that companies should apply work from home policies in the future. This way, you can easily allow the affirmative and negative teams to argue for and against your resolution. As for the formats or for the rules of debating, there are many famous rules or formats of debating. There's the public forum debate, policy debate, the parliamentarian debate, Oxford style or Oxford Union debate, and the Lincoln Douglas debate format. The last two are the most famous ones, and they're applied across the globe, and many, many thousands of people try and attempt and experience using these debate formats. To do a very simple and straightforward comparison between the Oxford Union style and the Lincoln Douglas, Oxford style debate has a pre and post questionnaire or poll to examine how many people are for or against the resolution. Then you will have opening speeches by both teams. There are questions from a panel. A panel can be the audience members, the moderator. These questions are answered by both teams. There is also summary debate speeches by both teams, and the winner is determined by the post-debate poll. Lincoln Douglas is about opening speeches and cross-examinations. It's a very famous, very competitive form of debating, very close to the way that we see a court of law is being managed by lawyers and judges. So each team member will have a speech, and each team member will have a cross-examination period. And the origin of Lincoln Douglas comes from the historical debate between Lincoln and Douglas in the early 19th century, when they were debating on running an election in their parties. And that format was established because in those days, debates were not only uncommon in elections, they were also not televised or publicly invited to have people watching them or witnessing them. We will have a separate presentation only to talk about the Lincoln Douglas debate format. If we go for the Toastmasters International debate format, or what we call the modified format, the Toastmasters International, they allocate 5 minutes for both teams to give their opening speeches. So the team captain of the affirmative, the team captain of the negative, they have 5 minutes to open their speeches. Then the second speaker from both teams will do cross-examination for 3 minutes. The third team member can do refutation and rebuttal also for 3 minutes. Winner of this debate format is determined by a panel of judges. So you'll have 2 teams of 3 speakers, or even 4 speakers if you like. The team captain speaks first. The summation adds no new points to the debate argumentations. If you want to have the Toastmasters International flow, you see that the team captain A will start the speech. Team captain B or N1 will give the speech. The second speaker will do another direct speech, followed by another constructive speech by the second speaker. Third speaker from both teams, they cross-examine, they will ask questions to refute and rebut, and the team captain returns at the end to do a summation without adding new points. This format is also known as the short format of debating, and it can be easily applied in your club meeting in Toastmasters. Many clubs in the Arabian Gulf, they use this special format of Toastmasters International, and they have many good meetings that attract more guests to this meeting, that is very enjoyable for all people who are attending this debate. And this is the allocation of time. The opening speech is for 5 minutes. Second and third speakers speak for 3 minutes, and the team captain returns for a 2-minute summation at the end of the debate. Some highlights of the Toastmasters International adopted format. The term definitions or the word definition must be given by the 2 opening speakers. Terms can be modified by the negative team captain if he or she desires to modify the terms of or definitions of the resolution. The refutation or the actual attack on the argument can start as early as the captain of the negative team, but it's always recommended not to go into cross-examination until the third or second speakers start speaking. Cross-examinations are always impractical. I'm not saying impractical in terms of how effective they are, but you need to be really careful on the time and not to speak on top of other people's voices, because it's easily perceived to turn from cross-examination into argumentation, and the argumentation can be really ineffective. Third speaker of your team can focus on refutation and rebuttal, and summation can be done by both team captains without any new material added. Notes and additional notes on the TMI adapted format. It's very important for you to choose the resolution carefully. Even in the choice of resolution, there are planned debates and there are impromptu debates. Planned debates are planned ahead and both team members are given enough chance to prepare their material. Impromptu speeches, impromptu debates are more of a fun type of debate. They are more based on common sense, and they are made in a very fun and very casual format. Choosing speakers for both teams is an important aspect of the TMI format. A team of 3 should have the flamboyant, outgoing team captain, the note-taking, observant third speaker, and the motivating and eye-catching second speaker. Selection of your team order is very important to determine how well you will manage this debate. So be careful on how you choose the speech, as well as your side of speech. It's always more difficult to be arguing for the affirmative because you have the burden of proof on your shoulder. That's why the affirmative team is the first and the last team to speak. And historically speaking, 40% only of all debates are won by the affirmative team. 60% of debates are won by the negative team, because it's easier to defend the current status and to reject the change plan. We need to prepare for the debate. The more preparation, the more ready you are. Debating is not like table topics. You have to research and prepare your resolution, prepare your argumentation, prepare your evidence, prepare your claim and warrants. And as in any respectful debate formats, heckling or disturbing of the flow is not allowed in the Toastmasters International adopted format. The odds of winning, as I said, is 40% for the affirmative, 60% for the negative. And that was basically the Toastmasters International adapted debate format. It's really nice to use and to apply in the team meetings, and you will find it to be a very effective team building exercise in your club meeting, in the special club meetings, and you can use it anywhere, any time of the year. In the next workshops, we will dive more into the science and art of debating. We'll talk about 10 common mistakes made by debaters. We will dive more into Lincoln Douglas. We will dive more into logical fallacies. So stay tuned, and I hope that you all enjoy the next series of this debate workshops.